So we cannot be certain of everything. Instead, I say we can only be certain of that which we see. Maybe we can be certain of some of what we hear. What determines some of what we see is determined by what we hear, or some of what we hear. Yao, the name which I seem to have acquired naturally, has a reputation, if we didn't know, that's attached to so much around us that we see and that we celebrate as a tradition. Some of you may actually wonder, where does the classical interest come from? Yao. Why Yao? So much classical music, Christian music, a tradition that began from Bach. Would I understand it all? Well, I have been posting on Facebook. Believe me, I know. The point I wanted to make is, while I spend so much time on Facebook detailing what I've seen, what I've learned, and what I know, besides seeing sharply and seeing the truth as deeply as I can perceive it, I had to become very good at hearing to know the truth and to understand the truth and to comprehend the truth as heard or as seen. So the word see applies to hearing and seeing, of course. Earlier, I recorded a video and I just checked. Someone had a reminder for me. 2 people. I'm not even lying. How do I even know that? Because as soon as I thought, and here it is, as soon as I thought to check to see if this video was still recording, I had 2 confirmations and 3 confirmations who were probably praying that this video was still recording so I could get this on Facebook, or who were probably praying that I didn't forget and that I didn't waste my time recording a video that didn't record. Maybe that made more sense to one of my coaches. I did capture that in the other video I posted yesterday. Earlier, I stated this in a different way or in a different manner. And I try not to sound the same, and there's a reason for that. Something I would understand, which I'm not yet ready to reveal to everyone. Let me paste this properly. Earlier, I mentioned a holy council. We can't quite perceive the holy council when I post on Facebook and text. When I begin speaking, and when everyone and all of you can hear my voice, you can see the will at work, what I call the invisible will. And that is how I administer this process, which defines a prophet of God. No one saw that coming before I stated it, except one person, maybe 2. No more than 2 knew exactly the point I was getting ready to make as soon as I thought to make it, or before I even thought to make it. Okay, before I even thought to make it, that could just be myself. Okay, it wasn't just myself. At least 2. We got some backtracking going on. Okay, now I'm all caught up, and my coaches are sinking in with me. Y'all, you really going to post this on Facebook? Of course I am. Everyone has to know. Everyone has to know how healthy my mind is, how healthy my outlook is, and how I determine what is true, because the truth is what I believe in. I'm learning a new skill or technique, which is how I determine truth by hearing. And it actually works. And I already have an idea how it works. And I stated this in a previous video. It's because God drives in one direction. Multi-directional. Nothing wrong with saying multi-directional. We just don't want to have the wrong idea. As if a bird can fly, and as if a bird doesn't glide while a bird flies. So when God travels, or when God is in motion not to waste the breath, not to waste energy. God is getting somewhere, going somewhere, maybe not there. God is going somewhere. God is in a progressive motion. Again, y'all would understand that. I would understand that. Some of my coaches would understand that. Why did I have to explain that? That's what this video is for, because when I post all of this in textual format, we don't quite know what my intelligence is when I study God. And so to speak as a prophet of God, that means to assume the identity of God. If I had a thought to post that earlier, I would have, although I did post the equivalent. Okay, my coaches agree. It was probably better to say assuming the identity of God, rightfully. Okay, no worries there. God is expressed in so many different ways, not always expressed as plain as I express God, and that's okay. I had to be the one who's the best at expressing God without making a mistake and without making a technical error. And that's the reason I speak in what I call third person objectively. And it works for me. And that's actually the style the Holy Bible is written in. Or if there was any sacred text would have been written in the same manner. And so the idea is not that we are seeing me when I speak on behalf of God or when I prophesy. The idea is that we're seeing the truth as plainly as we can see. And on that note, I think I can go ahead and conclude this video, because I love how I was able to explain that in one sentence in that wraparound on the end there.